Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. My name is David A. Cox, and we are teaching a live class right now, and we're going to be going over how to build a website. Now, for those of you who have been with us for a while, you know we've taught other classes in this using different pieces of software like Snap Pages was the big one, and we wanted to change it up and teach you a different technology. And part of the reason is, as we all know, technology does change. And there's an old saying in business that goes to the tune of innovate or die. And I've always been a big fan of innovation, as many of you know. The problem I've had with Snap Pages is that they have refused to innovate. They've added features that don't work well for a lot of their users. And so I have been left with really no choice but to start switching my clients away from using their technology. Now, the company PC Classes Online is more than just myself. There's a small team of us, but granted a team. And one of them is a incredibly talented gentleman by the name of Mark Collier. And Mark is the most brilliant and amazing communicator I've ever worked with, and his specialty is web design. So when we got the word that we were going to be going on the television show Shark Tank on ABC, Mark and I chatted and we talked about what did we want to do for the website. We felt like we needed to do something. At the time, PC Classes Online was using Snap Pages. And we sat down, we looked at the different options, and we looked at kind of where Snap Pages was going and figured that it probably wasn't the best place for us or, frankly, for our users. So we decided to start exploring, and Mark discovered this technology that we both just absolutely fell head over heels in love with, called Weebly. And that's what you're looking at right now. So I'm going to teach you today how to use their technology, how to build your website. Now, not everyone wants to build their website. Some people just want to maintain their own website, and that's fine if that's the case. For those of you who are still looking for a website designer, Mark does take on clients. You can just shoot me an email, david@pcclassesonline.com, and I'll be happy to send off his contact info to you. Please excuse the background noise. It should clear up in just a minute. We are live right now, so can't do anything about it. But, you know, some people, a lot of people don't know how expensive websites are if you have someone design them for you. For many different places in the country, websites average around $10,000. Okay? Other places, it's more around $5,000. Here in Key West, it is $10,000. So it's really incredible when you have the ability to update your own website and make it yourself even potentially. You can save yourself a ton of money. So what I do when I typically teach these kind of classes is I take a dummy business, and we get completely off topic within 5 minutes, and I just kind of create that dummy website. And so what I thought I'd do today is I'm going to do a dummy fudge website, if someone were making fudge from home, and dedicate this class to a woman, a very entertaining woman who I was on Shark Tank with, who owns a business by the name of Fat Ass Fudge. And her website is fat-assfudge.com. And we were chatting the other day, and I was looking at her website, and I said to her, her name is Donna, I said, Donna, you know, I love your brand, I love your product, but I don't love your website. I think it really needs some oomph to it. So I wanted to do this, use her kind of as an example to show what is possible with this technology. So for those of you who do not have a website, I'm going to walk you through the first thing that you need to do, which is you need to go and buy a domain name. Now, there's different companies out there that sell domain names. Of course, GoDaddy is the big popular one, but I want to introduce you to one that I use for all of my clients as well as for all of my own personal sites, which is bluehost.com. It's pretty inexpensive. It's very similarly priced to GoDaddy. What I do like is that all of their support is 24/7, and it's in the United States. They don't farm it out, which is incredibly rare these days. So if you don't have a domain name, you'd click right here where it says sign up now. Okay. On this next page, it's going to ask you, do you have a domain name or do you need a domain name? And you just type in what you kind of would like. Maybe it's your name, maybe it's the name of your business. Okay, a lot of people when they're figuring out the name of their business, they'll first figure out if they can get the domain name. Okay, So you can go through here, and what's nice is, let's say it's not available, they will give you suggestions for websites that are available. So I was working with Donna and found out that one version of her website that she wanted to get wasn't available, but there was another one by adding one word to it that made it available. That's about it. Like I said, it's about $14, somewhere around thereabouts. I forget what I'm paying right now. I own about 12 domain names, I believe, right now. So then once you are done with that, you're going to go to Weebly.com. Okay, you're going to sign up for a free account. I'm going to walk you through everything. Okay, like I said, we're going to create a dummy website. Okay. Oh, by the way, let me show real quickly. Before we get into it, I want to just show you what this technology is capable of. And who better to show that off than to show you, these are some of the actual creations by Mark at bigbluedesigns.com. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through a few of these, and you'll see it's very clean. It has a personality, and that's what I love about it. Too many websites now just look so washed out, and this is where hiring someone like Mark can be worth every single penny. Right now, most of Mark's websites are under $2,000 a piece, by the way. So even if you have him do the entire website, it's still cheaper than going to most people. There's us. Okay, you can see just every single one, the style fits the business. It's very, very clean. Okay, and we're repeating at this point. So let's close that out. So if you want to get in touch with Mark, you can either contact him through his website at bigbluedesigns.com or just email me and I'll pass on your information to him. So when you're here, you're going to hit Add Site. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and this is partially just kind of setting up the templates, just getting all of the information ready for your website. So let's see here. Let's just create a dummy website called The Fudge Factory. Okay? It's going to ask me what type of website. It can be personal, business, an organization, education, wedding, portfolio, or other. Let's just go under business. You can do a subcategory. Okay? So we'll do, let's see. We'll do local brick and mortar store. You might fit into more than one category. Don't stress over it. Okay. My Fudge Factory. Okay. All right. Looks pretty plain, right? Well, don't worry about it. We're going to change it up. We're going to give it a personality. So for those of you who are now familiar with Snap Pages, I think you're going to find that switching to Weebly is really easy because it uses a lot of the same basic concepts, the main one being drag and drop. Okay, so all of your tools are up here at the very top of your website, and when you want to add any of them to your website, you just click them, drag them, and drop them onto the guts of the website. So there's no code here, okay? If you're doing advanced stuff, you may need code, but for the most part, none of you will. Now, there's a free version of Weebly, and there's a pro version. What I am showing you right now is the free version, but I do recommend the pro. It's about $100 a year, and trust me, it is worth it, okay? Just some of the basic features that you get with the pro that you don't get with the free version, they're worth $100 a year. You're not spending $10,000. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to take you through these 5 tabs here at the very top, and we're going to go through and create a website, all right? And I'm actually going to teach it in reverse order. I'm going to go into settings first, okay? So here in settings, you can kind of go through at your own pace, and you can start to put in things like, of course, your site title. One little piece of advice, if I can give you, is keep the site title simple. Here's the reason why. If you go to bookmark this website right now, it just says The Fudge Factory. Have you ever tried to bookmark a website and it just goes on and on and on and on? Just keep it simple for the people, please. Okay. Next one here is favicon. This is only available to the pro users. And for those of you who don't know what a favicon is, if you can see here at the very top left of my screen where it says Weebly.com, see that little W? Okay. You've probably seen that kind of an icon on different websites. That's what a favicon is. It's just a little icon that pops up. That is really good if they bookmark your website because it does kind of stand out. So I don't know why there's so many planes flying overhead outside. Hopefully you can't hear them right now. I can't tell. You have a footer message. The footer message is just simply something that is on the bottom of every single page. If you are using the free version, They require that you say create a free website with Weebly. All right. Now you can go through here. This is one of my favorite parts. Okay, search engine optimization, also known as SEO. A lot of you who are new to creating a website may have heard this term before. This is where you get into Google. Okay, so you want to put a really well-written site description and your keywords. Okay, so really get creative with it. Now you're going to separate each keyword or phrase with a comma. So for example, if mine is if it's a 3-word phrase, I do the 3 words, then comma, then the next phrase or keyword. Just know that when you do publish your website, it does take, I think it's about 2 weeks, somewhere around thereabouts, for it to really pick it up on Google. So just be aware of that. We go on from here, and we have things like e-commerce settings. A lot of you won't use this. This is really just if you're using PayPal or Google Checkout. If you do, you can just kind of check it right here, put in what currency you're using. Now this next feature is awesome. Okay, quick story. I was at a public conference recently, and one of my competitors was there. And this individual sells, she's not really a competitor, but we do hit on a couple of the same services. One of the things she does is she sells mobile websites. So what that means is that when you go to, let's say it's a restaurant, when you go to the restaurant's website on your cell phone, it looks different than it does on your computer. Mainly that it's more compact, it's more mobile, it's just the guts, just what you want, it's just text. She charges $2,000 for the website, and then she charges $100 a month to host it. Think about that. That's a lot of money just for a mobile version of your own website. This is how easy it is to create a mobile version of your own website in Weebly. You click on mobile settings and you check. You can then also choose a theme color. Okay, that's just the background color. That's it. It will automatically go throughout your whole website, and it will create an entire mobile version that you can use whenever. Okay, save yourself $2,000 plus $100 a month. Okay, that is that. That was under settings. The next tab is editors. Okay, now some of you may use this, some of you may choose not to. Where editors comes into play, as an example, I'll use PC Classes Online. It is technically my website. I own it. But Mark and I collaborate on it. He does. And by collaborate, I mean he does most of the work. So what I do is I list Mark as an editor. It means he is authorized to go in and make changes to websites, to graphics, to whatever I need. It just means I give him permission. He has a login that he can use to get inside. Okay? So if you're going to be needing that kind of a feature, that's where you go to add that extra person or people. I love these people who drive by with the bass cranked up on their... Anyways, hopefully you can't hear that anyway. Just cars and traffic going by. Next is the Pages tab. Okay, this is really easy. This is where you go to just establish all the different pages that are going to be on your website. So let's create a couple here. As an example, we have, of course, a home page. Okay, everyone has a home page. We can click Add Page right here, and let's add kind of standard contact. Okay, and you can choose to have different content area setups here. Okay, this is basically, it has a header up here, not a header, it has a banner. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that for all of these. And you have other options here where you can do things like you can hide the page from the navigation menu, which means that in order to get to that web page, they're going to need to click on a button or a link to get there. You can password protect it if you have the Pro account. Okay, great example, PC Classes Online. For all of you to get into the video library, for you to get into the class sign-up page, you need that password to get in. Link page to an external site. Okay, so if I want you to click on this button and it goes to another website, that's what that means. Okay, let's add a few others here. Let's add a, maybe we can add a testimonials page. Okay, we can add one. I guess that's really all. Let's do an About Us page. Okay, and that'll do it for now. Now, there's also a button here for a blog. If you want to add a blog, you can. I'll put one in just for now. We can go over that in a little bit. I'll show you how to do it. Now, if you want to change the order, literally all you have to do is drag and drop these around. So of course, on the website, the navigation bar goes left to right. Here it's up and down, so the further to the top, the further to the left they are. Okay, so it is standard that home is first, about us is second, contact is last. Anything else is your choice. Okay? One other little tip I want to show you, question that comes up a lot, is how do I create a subpage? So for example, if I want to make it so that when you put your cursor over about us, there's another option that appears that maybe says, building history, history of the town, about the owner, that kind of thing. This is how you do that. You click Add Page here, and let's just do Town's History. Okay? When you hit Add Page, what you're going to do is you're going to take this right here, and you're going to drag it underneath About Us, and then you're going to just push it to the right. And see how it indented it right there? Well, now that is a subpage. Let's just do another one here as an example. Let's call it About the Owner. Okay. And there you go. So now we have two subpages. And if I actually go to Edit Page right now, you'll see here that I now have all those categories. And when I put my cursor over About Us, I have that drop-down option. Okay? So that was the Pages tab. I don't think there's anything else we need to go over here. Advanced settings. I can never remember what's here. Oh, if you need to put in custom keywords for very specific pages, you can do that. For the most of you, there's no real reason to do it. So I'm not going to really, there's no need to go over that. Now this next tab that we're going to go over here at the top left is my favorite. Okay, this is where you can have a lot of fun, and this is design. So Weebly has a ton of different templates that you can choose. You can also use, there are services out there where you can buy custom built templates that other people have made that you can incorporate into your website. But what this is great for doing is this is great for just getting ideas. Okay, so you can go through here and you can just click on any of these, and a big tip I would give you is to do this at the beginning, okay? Because this can ultimately dictate how this will dictate how your website looks. So if you can have that idea as you're beginning, you don't have to discover it as you go down the road, okay? So right here we're on this template, but you can go through here and you can totally change it up just by clicking, okay? It's like this one's kind of like a Rocky Mountain kind of theme to it, probably not appropriate for this. We can go to another one here which is a little bit darker, okay? It's kind of interesting. It's almost like an asphalt kind of theme to it. But you can see here it's changing the whole look. Look at this one. This one's kind of cool. I actually like this. This is a wood theme. Okay? And you can go through here and you can do whatever you want. You can really give it a personality. And that's what it ultimately is all about. A website is not about just having a presence online. It's about having a personality online. So that's what I love about this one here, for example. And I think we'll actually use this as our example today. Okay? So once you've settled on whichever one you want, and you can see here, if I can scroll, there are a ton of different templates. It just keeps going on and on and on. Okay? I'm still scrolling through them. You get the idea. So once you've decided on which ones you want, okay, you can go into, if you look here, there's a little subcategory called Design Options. Okay, and you can just choose to put in a couple different options here. For example, you see I have my little social icons up here at the top right, like Facebook and Twitter and, God forbid, LinkedIn. Sorry, personal opinion. You can choose to turn those on or off. In a little bit, I'll show you how to delete certain ones if you don't want them. You can add a search box if you have a pro account. Okay, so you can, if you have a very, very large website, a lot of content, you can put in a search box right there and people will be able to search throughout your whole website for keywords. We have right now a phone numbers field, okay, and I'll be able to put that in here in just a minute. If I scroll down here, I can choose the different fonts. So you can see here, my little title right here, it used this font. Now this is one thing I want to go over. When we were teaching Snap Pages, one of the very, very frustrating realities was that they gave you like 10 fonts. How boring is that? If you're trying to create a personality, you need more than 10 fonts. Not everyone fits into 10 categories. So just take a look at how many of the different, and not just how many, but they're good. All the different fonts that they give you access to here. Okay. This one here, I love these handwritten ones. I think these have great amounts of personality to them. Okay, bold black ones. Okay, you can really go through here, and it's a lot of fun. Now, some of you are going to want to use your own logo. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You can do that. We'll show that in just a minute. Okay, these are kind of the different elements. Okay, what color are the links going to be as an example? You can go through here and just kind of play with it. And finally, we get into elements, and this is the guts of the website. Okay, so in elements we have 4 subcategories. We have basic, multimedia, revenue, and more. We're not going to really go into revenue because that basically is just Google checkout. Excuse me. So the way you add content to your website is very simply by dragging and dropping elements into this bottom section here. But before we even get there, we're going to talk about this right here. It's become kind of a standard now on pretty much every website that you have some sort of a banner image here up top. Okay? Now, one of the features I love in the Pro account is it doesn't have to be static. It can be a slideshow. And to do that, all you have to do is click on this little orange arrow right here and hit Create Slideshow. And it's going to have you just select the images, and it'll have these little dots appear. You've probably seen this kind of thing on other websites. And it'll just kind of scroll through them. It's a really clean way to feature some of the different elements of your business, whether you're making fudge or you're in real estate, whatever you want. So for us, we're just going to click on Edit Image, okay? And you have to have these images, of course, on your computer. I went through on just through Google Images and pulled a bunch of images. So I'm just going to add one here from my computer. Okay. Now, one important thing to know, and this is where a graphic designer can be handy, look at the aspect ratio of my image and the aspect ratio that I need to fill, okay? Well, if you have a good image, if you have something like food, you can do this, but it won't work for certainly every image. You can stretch it out so that it takes up all of the space, okay? So we'll just do that. When you're done, you can hit OK. Now the other thing you can do is you can start to layer this. Okay, so if you have multiple images, you can layer them. And the way you do that is when you're in this part of the website where you're adding images, look up here at the top left. You can add another image to this, or you can also add text. Okay, so maybe I want to put something about this is a Rocky Road fudge. So I can say, try our kick-ass Rocky Road fudge, which I think I'll do in just a minute. You can crop the image, rotate it, change the opacity. You can fade the image. You can add different effects. The effects aren't really that great. It's like basically black and white, or make it look retro. That's about it. So let's just add a little bit of text here. Okay. So we simply click in here and put in, just type it in. We'll just put Rocky Road. Let's say our kick-ass Rocky Road fudge. Okay. And just like with any kind of a text document, if you want to change the size of it, you just have to highlight it and go up here and just change the font. Okay, let's make this one maybe a little bit smaller. Oops, a little too small. Let's try 36 maybe. Yep, that looks good. You can move it around just by dragging it and dropping it. One little tip for those of you who are new to web design, this is something to be careful for. You see how the text is white and then you have this very light color behind it? If you're going to be doing that, one of the tricks to make it stand out is to just add a shadow just by clicking up here. Okay, and just make it really strong. You can change what direction the shadow is in. Okay, so let's see, in the case of this one, it looks like, let's see, that looks a little bit better. You can also, if you want, you can add a glow. That'll really help it just by clicking right here. So let's say I want to go to a, I can just add a black glow if I want. Okay, see how that stands out a little bit better? Okay, and change it up, give it a little bit more of a personality by changing the font. Okay, And when you're done, you need to click Save up here at the very top right. Okay. Now we're going to start to add the elements to the website as promised. So for most of you, the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out how many columns do you want here, because most people don't have one big line of text going across the whole website. Okay, a lot of you are going to have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 different columns, and in one column you might have a contact form, in another you might have photos, something like that. You might have a map for Google Images, whatever you want. So the way you add a column, if you look up here, we are right now, as a reminder, we are here under Elements. We are here under Basic, and right here is your multiple columns. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to drag it and drop it right here into the guts of the website, and there you go. And so it says drag elements here and here. Now for those of you who are wondering how do I make it more than one column, it's right here. You can also change how wide any of these columns are just by kind of clicking right here in the middle and just dragging it. Okay, you can make it as big or small as you want. So maybe I just want maybe I just want some contact info over here, and I want some sort of a story right here. We're clearly improvising at this point, people. So now the rest of it is very, very simple. Okay, so if I want to add maybe a little bit of a quick 2-liners about the history of the store or why it's famous, okay. I go here under, you can do different ways. You can either do a title and then add a paragraph, but I just prefer to do paragraph with title. And I just take it and I drag and I drop it right here. And what's nice that I like, and oh my God, Snap Pages never did this, it shows you where it's going to put it. Okay? So I can click right here, and I love, don't you love how the fonts are going to be consistent now? So now I can click in here and I can say, Our Sweet History. Okay, and then just click here in the bottom, say we started off as 3 friends who loved fudge, ... And you type in the rest of your story there. Okay, and it's like, doesn't this already just look professional? Does it look like I created this in, how long have we been doing this? 15 minutes? Does it look like I did this in 15 minutes? Okay. One key thing to know is if you are selling some sort of a product like fudge, okay, and that fits into, there's a lot of different things that would fit into that category. Real estate would be an example. You want to try to put as many photos as you can. Don't flood it with photos, but put a lot, because it is, after all, visual. So now maybe I want to put in a little photo, let's say right over here. To do that, I just take picture and just drop it right in. Okay. Once again, I just click on it and it asks me to select the image. A couple other features you do have here is there's a search feature where you can, watch this. Let me just try this, fudge. It will look for free photos. See this category right here? Okay. And you can just take clip art. It's pretty cool. So let's see here. It does, if you look down here, it says free photos are available via Creative Commons license requiring attribution. An attribution link will be automatically added to your website footer. Okay, so if you need free clip art, you can do this. There are other services out there where you can actually buy clip art, or you can just take your own. So let's just take this one right here. I'll just hit select. So there you go, right? I mean, it's really simple. It's clean, and if you look down here at the very, very bottom of the website, it says photo used under Creative Commons and there's where it came from. Okay? So if you need free clip art, that is one way to do it. And it's legal, so it's a nice way to do it. Maybe potentially a little bit better than just stealing images off Google Images. So now let's go over some of the other features here. I'm going to actually go into the contact page for a minute, because this is going to be an important element. Now, you see how the banner up here up top is still here? You're not going to want it probably for every page. So to get rid of it, see when I put my cursor, there's this little gear icon. You just click on that and you can go to no header. There's also other versions of it. There is a shorter version of it. There's a landing page which looks really slick. Let me just kind of show you what that looks like. Okay, so obviously this would be replaced by a different image. You can have a button here, do whatever you want. I'm going to just change it to no header. So now we have really just the guts of the actual website. So under a contact page, you're going to want to give them a form where they can fill out information and it's automatically emailed to you. Now, I like to bring up a really important element here of your website, which has to do with putting your email address out there into the wild. A lot of us have issues at some point with spam, and this is a really easy way to avoid it. By having a form, okay, it can prevent you from getting on a lot of different mailing lists because people don't actually see where the form is being emailed to. Okay, you're the one who's going to dictate it. And don't worry, I'll show you how to do all of that in just a minute. Whereas if you just put your email address out there, anyone can steal it. They can submit it to 50 million, different mailing lists, and you get just bombarded with spam. So to do a contact form, okay, I typically do it in multiple columns, and I do have it take up about half. The other thing you're going to want to do for a lot of these, in a contact form rather, is you're going to want to have the address, the phone number, and a map of the location on one side. And we'll get there in just a minute. So now I'm going to take this contact form. I'm just going to drop it right here. I'll drop it into the right-hand side this time. Okay. You can see here, click to edit. So I'll just put contact us. Okay. And you have all these different fields. Now, currently there's only 3. You have a name, of course, email, and comment. And there's a lot of different options they give you in creating the different forms that can help you out, make it a little bit easier for you. Such as a lot of people are going to want a phone number, right? I do. So what you can do is click here on Form Options, and this is where everything starts to appear. So as far as figuring out where does this email go to, that's where this is right here at the very top. So it's the name of the form is called Contact Form. Email submissions go to this address. So make sure it's double check, make sure it's spelled correctly. That's going to be your email address. Okay. And then all the different elements here are up here at the very top. You may have noticed that just appeared. So for example, I don't think anyone would use file upload in a contact form. That wouldn't make sense. But you can do different checkboxes. Okay, you can do a drop-down option. You can give them option buttons. So let me give you an example of this. In my small business, my local business, the Mac Guru, because we have 2 different locations, I make it required that people use a drop-down box and I say, which one of our locations are you contacting? That way I just know who to send the email to forward it to, whether it's my staff up north or whether I'm going to answer it myself. Okay. Other things you can do here, if you look here, we have different subcategories. Once again, here under More, this is where a lot of the good ones are. Phone number. So if I want to make a phone number a field, I literally take it and I just drop it wherever I want. Typically phone number would be 2nd or 3rd in command here. Now you'll notice, see how there's a little like a red star next to all of these? What that means is that they have to fill that out in order to submit the form. They can't leave it blank. Now let's say I don't care so much about their email address. What I can do is I can click here on email address. Okay. I got to remind myself how to do this part here. I can't remember if it's under advanced. Nope. Form options. Oh, I'll use phone number here. Here we go. You click on that field and it appears right up here. See here it says required. I can change it to not required and the little star goes away. So it just won't send. If they leave their phone number blank, that's okay. But if they leave their email blank, it will say, sorry, you have to fill out this information in order to send. Okay? And I love this. This added to my list of reasons why we switched away. We were having an issue with Snap Pages for a long time where certain forms would not send. Or people would think that they sent it and I never got it. And I knew it wasn't my email. I knew it was the website. We did a lot of investigation and discovered that. And we're pretty horrified by that kind of finding. So now, as I said, let's go over and add something over here. Okay, you want to fill up the whole page if you can. So let's add a Google map. Okay, so to do this, again, we have these 4 subcategories over here. If you go here under, I can't remember if it's multimedia. Okay, here we have Google Maps. I can just take this and drag it and drop it right on. It takes a second to load. Oh, well, that time it was pretty fast. And what I can do is just click on here, and I can put in the information for the location. Okay, so it'll stay right there. I'm going to clear that out. Actually, I'll just leave it there for now. You can then add in things, like I said, your phone number. And for that, we can go back to basic and just go to title and put it below. So I can put phone 555 555 1234. Okay. You can go through here. One of the nice things with having your phone number just as text is should they be viewing the full version of your website on a mobile phone, when they tap on that, it will call you. Just kind of a nice little feature. Let's see, other elements here I need to go over. I want to go over the blog with you. Okay, the blog is really fun. It's easy to create blogs. So obviously here we haven't created any. So what we're going to do is we're going to create new post. Okay, and you type in your post title. Okay, so we have a new website. Okay, and now all you do is your elements are right up here up top. Okay, see how this is becoming very, very consistent. Okay, so now if I want to add in, I can actually integrate a YouTube video if I want into this, just by taking this and just dropping it into my blog post. Okay, you can have other options here where you can have people write comments, which you can choose to either have it open. You can make them. You can make it so that you have to approve it first, or you can close it if you really don't want people to interact with your blog. Most people do. Okay, you can allow people to share it on Facebook or Twitter. If you want, let's say with this fudge factory, let's say this person who owns this business has a couple different categories that they talk about, whether it's entrepreneurship, making fudge, online business, that kind of thing. You can create different categories so that people can sort through the different things that you've talked about. And when you're done, literally all you do is hit publish live. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to cancel for now. Okay, very, very easy to do. Let's see here. I want to just go through and see if there's anything. I'm going to go through some of the other elements here that you can add into your website and just go over what they are. There's a button option here. So let's say when I was going through the different pages, one of the options was to create a page that is not shown up here on the navigation menu. For that, I can just take button, drop it into my site. One of the features I like is you can hover here over styles, and they'll give you kind of a fat version and a skinny version, usually in two different colors. Okay, and the two colors are meant to kind of complement your website. And then I just click here on link, and it can either go to a different page on my website. So let's say I wanted to go to about the owner, I can click that. Or if I wanted to create an email, I can do that by just typing in the email address here. If you have the pro account, actually, no, I don't think you need the pro account for this part. Let's pretend I want them to download the whole menu. Okay, I can upload a PDF and put it right here so that it says download our menu here. And just by selecting this option, they'll do that. A lot to play with here. Other things we can go through, under multimedia, we have things like a photo gallery, okay, slideshow. The slideshow is really clean. I'm a big fan of the slideshow. I haven't really needed it for any of the websites I built yet, but if you're an artist, if you want to sell your work, it's actually, I have to give them credit, it is pretty cool. Right here is for a downloadable file. It's the same thing as doing the button icon right here. Audio player, if you have some sort of an audio file that you want to play, you can upload your own video. What's great is that it uses Vimeo to compress it, so it will look really, really good. A lot of you might be wondering, why do we use Vimeo as opposed to YouTube in the video library page? Their compression is so much better. The video just looks better. So I'm a big fan of Vimeo. You can make an embeddable document. You can use Flash, for those of you who know how to do it. Google Maps we already talked about, or you can embed a YouTube video if you prefer that instead. Revenue is for if you're using either Google Checkout, which is easy, where you can just kind of list your products. I'll just kind of show you, I don't know if I can show you it here since I don't have an account. You can use either Google Checkout or PayPal, okay? So let's just do Google. Yeah, it's going to make me enter in my merchant ID. I'm not going to put in any of this. I actually do have an account. I don't want to put it. So you can see here kind of what it will generally look like. You put an image of your product, the name, add to cart, that's it. So to do e-commerce with this, especially if you're doing fairly simple stuff, it really is very simple. I'm going to delete that element. So you can kind of play with that as needed, but it is very easy. And if you use other services out there, like Shopify as an example, Shopify does integrate with all of these. Shopify and the other services out there do integrate with Weebly. So don't worry about if you use something else, it's not an issue. Here under More, we have a couple different other options. For example, it connects up with PollDaddy. So if you want to say, in this case, if we're doing an option, what would be your dream flavor of fudge? And it's like 3 different really uniquely flavored types of fudge that haven't been created yet. People could select an option, and then it would pull them up, and the business owner would be able to figure out what the next new flavor is going to be. Okay, we have other ones here. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. It integrates with BookFresh, which is a service. Let's say you are a masseuse, okay? If you're a masseuse, you can integrate with online bookings, and people can book an appointment to have a massage with you right through your own website. It's really, really cool. Other items here. I don't even know if I can show you that because I don't have an account. I don't think it will let me. Are we loading? I think I have to link up the account, so I can't really show you that. I'm just going to delete that element. Also under forms, we have here an RSVP form. So maybe you're doing some sort of a company party. You can have an RSVP form that people can do, as well as just a regular survey. Okay, and all these just involves taking these elements and just dropping them right into your website. Okay, so look right here. So I can create my different questions. You know, in this case, you know, this is just a template, but it's saying, how'd you hear about us? What is your age? Okay, just kind of good little helpful elements to have in your website. So that is a lot of what you're going to need here to get started. One last thing I think two other things I can think of that I would like to go over. Having a really, really good logo is important to your business because it really captures your personality. Now, there is a company that I've used in the past to create logos that their end result product is very good, just don't have high expectations for customer service because their customer service is terrible. But even so, because they do have a good end result product, I will give them a shout out. It's thelogocompany.net. I think it's net. Yes, thelogocompany.net. It's $150, and they'll create a custom logo for you. What's nice is that they'll actually create 6 different logos, and then you can kind of refine it with them and give them feedback, and they'll create, you know, they'll tweak it to make it look as you know, whatever you want. They integrate a lot of psychology into creating logos, like what do different colors imply. So obviously green, you know, is very organic, very kind of heart of the earth. So whereas something like red is a very intense color, you know, it's the color of blood and it's the color of the sun. It's a very, very strong color to use. So depending on what kind of business you have, they'll help you create that really perfect custom logo. The other part I want to mention is when you go to integrate your logo up here, I want to talk very, very briefly about file formats. There's a type of format of images called PNG, Paul, Nancy, Grace, okay? And what that means is that you can have a transparency. So, for example, if I use a JPEG image, which is what most people are used to using, if the background is white, it will look white in the background here, and it's going to be very distracting. Whereas if you're using a PNG file, you can have it be transparent. You'll see the background like you see right here. Okay? I I think we've covered pretty much everything. It's, getting a website is easy. I mean, granted, I haven't added a lot of content here, but look at, we've created all these different pages here, and you can see it doesn't take long before you have a full-blown website. You can really put this together in a couple hours, preferably a couple days. That way you can really refine it, ask your friends and family what they think, and get feedback from people. And to give one final shout out, if you need someone to work with you, Mark Collier at bigbluedesigns.com, in my opinion, is the best of the best. So what I'm going to do at this point is, for those of you who are here live, we're going to go to the live version here. I'm going to unlock your microphones one at a time so that we can answer any of your questions. For those of you who are watching this as a recorded video in our video library, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you'll check out some of our other videos. This is David A. Cox with PC Classes Online, and we'll see you soon. And now, to those of you who are live, let's answer your questions.